So just,
Right now?
you can just, yeah.
On that.
And John,
on
I'm going to mute you if that's okay. Candy, I'm going to mute you. There we go. There we go. There we go. Right. Well, welcome. Big warm welcome. Lots of new faces on here, and I'm really delighted about that. So a lot of you don't know me. I am going to ask that if you haven't done it now while I'm talking, just grab a pen and paper. So what I tend to do on these is I have a fairly short presentation, and then I take questions. And if people want on the spot answers to things, I'm really happy to answer that. So vision is a very, very big topic, and there are lots and lots of ways to unpack this. Now, I want you to know I can't see your comments while I'm talking. So please write down your questions and save them for the end. My intention on this is if I help one person tonight, I'll be happy. Now, if you feel you've heard some of this before, please trust you need to hear it again. One of the things my mentor, Peter Sage, says is the war cry of failure is, I already know that. So it's a big topic. So from a personal point of view, even though I know lots of you through Facebook, you don't really know me. So I'm a mother of two boys aged 22 and 25. I used to be a teacher of the deaf. I used to be a singer and songwriter. Now I'm an independent business owner. I'm well over the age of 60 now. I've been through 10 years of psychotherapy, couples therapy, parenting coaching, anger management training, millions of personal development courses. More importantly for me, I've been a Buddhist leader for over 30 years now. And I feel this is important because I've had the opportunity to serve lots of people, not by telling them what to do, but by helping ask them the right questions. So I'm also a coach. I've got a passion for personal development. I mean, relentless, really. I'm someone who works on myself every day, and it has served me immeasurably. I've also invested constantly in my own development, both in terms of time and money. And I haven't got all the answers. I haven't got it all sorted out. But what I have come to realize, which I think is powerful, is the joy of building a life and the joy of being able to meet obstacles really, and to know what to do with them, to know how to handle them, and to know how to use them as fuel for growth. And here's the exciting thing about personal growth. The more you grow, the more you want to. So that's really important to understand. It's easy to sit and put your feet up, but it's not going to make you happy. So it's my view. Of course, I deeply respect anyone else's point of view. I'd like to start with a quote that I found. It's a Peter Sage quote, and I really loved it. And I feel that it does link with this idea of vision. So the quote is, "You don't have to find your purpose, it will find you. That's why you're here, learning how to listen, interpret, and rediscover what's already there, because you've got to remove some layers over the top that are covering it up. You need to become authentic again." So I think that's just such a beautiful quote. So this thing of vision is really, it's really important that it's not determined by should or society or programming or conditioning or family rules. And so vision is based really on what you want to experience. And one of the things we talk about when we're talking about vision is, when I say we, I mean people in the coaching realm, is means versus end goals. And, means goals would be like, okay, in order to be rich, I have to be CEO of blah, blah, blah company. And you're focusing on the way to get there. But end goals are to do with how you feel when you've reached a goal, how you feel when you've created that vision, the feeling of waking up next to the person you love, or being able to be abundant and generous with people. So, as I've just said, goal setting in the modern world, often our goals and our vision, it's not coming from us. They're programmed into us through advertising, media, politicians. What Vishen, I can't remember how to pronounce his last name, Yeri or something, calls the culture state that we buy into without questioning. And these are wants or desires that we're taught to believe are going to bring us happiness. Like if I'm slimmer or I look younger, or maybe if I have a little bit of Botox or whatever, that's going to make me happier. By the way, I'm not knocking it. I'm not making a judgment about it. But if we think that those externals are what's going to make us happy, it's not true. So the other thing I want to say that's really important if you're struggling in some way is that, you chose to be in this, your soul or your being or the inner part of you chose to be in this situation so that you could grow. And I'm not going to unpack that too much. That's a very triggering statement for some people. But the point is that you can either choose to see your life as a life full of obstacles or a life full of opportunities. And so the choice of narrative is really important. So I've digressed a bit, but what we're going to look at tonight is your vision is your destination point. Think of it this way. You're setting your GPS or your sat nav, and the clearer you can make your vision, and the more you can feel your vision, the more chance you have of achieving it. You can't program the GPS without knowing where you're going. Now, again, I'm not going to say that this is easy. It's something I personally find really challenging, getting beyond the mind chatter. And I'm going to do an exercise this evening, which will help you get past that. So it's important to invest whatever your vision is. It's important that you feel some sort of pull towards it, feelings, emotions, something that brings it to life. It's your emotions, your feelings, and your desire, and actually your purpose, what you feel your purpose in life is, that will lead you to that vision. So it's about truly imagining yourself in that life and not being scared. You have nothing to lose. It's funny, as I'm speaking to you, I'm thinking of a friend who's going through a really pivotal decision at the moment. And sometimes I just want to say to him, don't think about what happens if it goes wrong. Think about what happens if it goes right. But that's not an easy conversation to have if it's unsolicited. So it's really thinking about, what if you can create this? So vision. I know when someone said to me, what is your vision? Many years ago, I totally froze. I didn't have a clue. In fact, what happens for me, and maybe it's happening for you right now, is my mind went into a kind of meltdown. What vision, I thought. And at times like that, you can feel like a rabbit in the headlights. So I'm going to help you along this evening. I'm going to give you a hand. And, for the sake of simplicity, we are going to narrow it down to 5 key areas. And those are going to be business and work, your environment, your physical environment, your physicality, which is like your health and your well-being, your relationships, and your spirituality. So I'll repeat those again in case you want to write them down. In fact, what I'm going to do is just copy them and put them in the chat. That would be the clever thing to do, wouldn't it? Whoops. There we go. Ta-da! So, yeah. So there are other areas, like legacy is a really big one. Creativity is a great one. So what I want you to do right now is I'm going to give you each category, and I want you to write down as fast as you can everything you don't want. And I'm going to tell you when to go, and we're going to make a start. So let's just get you going on that. And I'm going to just get you to do a little audit of what you don't want. It's just a fun exercise I like to do. So here we go. You ready? Give me a thumbs up if you're ready. I can't see most of you. Thank you, Jackie. Thank you. Okay, so here we go. As fast as you can, write everything you don't want. And we won't have time for all of this today. So feelings you don't want, things you don't want, health issues you don't want, job you don't want, things you don't want in your love life. Just be open. Just let it pour out. And when you finish, I'm going to tell you a little story. Job situation, money situation, health situation, where you live, problems you don't want. Situations you don't want. And there's a reason for doing this, I will tell you. What do you not want? And again, I'll give you the areas: business and work, environment, physicality, relationships, spirituality. Oops, someone's coming in. Who is this? I'm going to give you one more minute. So your job, your money, do you like the commute? Do you like your colleagues? Partner, what stories are you telling yourself? Family, friends, car, place of work. Okay, we'll stop it there. I think we've had about 5 minutes. So sometimes it's easier to write that down than to write down what you do want. And so it's a useful exercise to do if you want to flip things around, if you want to go, okay, I don't want this. So what's the opposite of that? Or what's the alternative to that? I found that really helpful. So I said I'd tell you a little story, and this is something that happened about 1.5 years ago. You know, one of my big goals in life, and I'll be very transparent with you, is to find a great relationship. I was married for 20 years. I divorced my husband in 2015. It was challenging. We had grown apart. He's a very nice man. I'm a very nice woman, but we really weren't well suited. He just had a different direction of travel, I'm going to say. So in this idea of wanting to meet someone, this guy came into my life seemingly from nowhere. He was someone who worked at my tennis club. He started paying a lot of attention to me, and I thought, ooh, this is really nice. He's really handsome. And then we started exchanging texts, and his sense of humor was amazing. And he made me laugh, and he was really creative, you know, really wild imagination, quite similar to me in many ways. And so I started getting really drawn in by this. Okay. And I started to feel like I was falling in love with him. Now, what I didn't have was it's not that you have to have selection criteria, but you might want to think about what you don't want. This guy was much younger than me. He didn't know where he was going in his life. It later turned out that he had a girlfriend. And what happened was the criteria were so hazy for what I want. I didn't investigate whether he wanted the same things. I didn't investigate, is this going in a direction that's going to lead somewhere? Is this leading to a relationship? It was just like, I let all my sort of romantic schoolgirl stuff cloud the picture. It ended pretty badly. I was it felt emotionally pretty brutal, I'm going to say. But the great thing was I learned a lot about myself, and the pain went really quickly. And that's partly because I could see how I'd let myself down and how I'd bought into a romantic love story rather than this is what I want, this is what I don't want. And so, this thing about vision, sometimes we don't get round to it until it hurts. And then sometimes people never get round to it. And then they wonder why their life is just kind of wayward. It's just kind of like has no direction, no purpose, no compass, really. So what I want to do with you now is I want to take you on a journey. It's a journey through consciousness. It's kind of like a meditation. So what I'm going to ask you to do is sit down with your back straight. And if you want to turn your camera off, you can. Feet on the floor. And we're going to do a journey. And close your eyes. Hands on your lap. Palms up. Feet on the floor. I want you to feel your breath going in and out of your body. You can even feel the air. Breathe in through your nose as it passes over the top of your lips. The air coming in. Breathe out through your mouth. Now I want you to feel from the bottom of your feet as if roots are growing out from the bottom of your feet into the earth. Feel them connecting right down, shooting right down into the center of the earth. And you should feel yourself more grounded. Maybe a settled feeling as you settle into your chair. And you're pulling up all that nourishing energy from the center of the earth. And I want you to pull that energy up and into your heart. Then I'd like you to open up a portal on the top of your head and feel sparkly, beautiful white light pouring down and into your body. Just feel it washing through, washing away any of the problems of the day, clearing everything out. Just a real cleansing, a purifying white light, just washing through you. Sparkly, beautiful white light. And I want you to pull your energy back. Back inside to your midline. That's the line running from the top of your head down your spine. Pull that energy back. And I want you to come down into your heart, the space around your heart. And you're going to see a door open in front of you. I want you to walk out that door. And you're going to see a golden staircase in front of you. You're going to ascend 7 golden steps up to a beautiful sort of celestial platform. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And as you stand on that platform and you gaze out into the sparkly white light, right in front of you, a space opens up where you see projected in that space a vision of you as who you want to be. And I'm going to start asking you, I just don't want you to dwell on any of these. I want you to ask that version of yourself, what kind of future memories am I creating? How am I feeling? Allow your energy to expand. What kind of abundance? How is it showing up in your life? How does it feel? What kind of savings do you have? What kind of investments do you have? What is your home like? What is the view? Where is it located? Are you seeing the sea, the mountains, furniture, paintings, flowers? What are you doing in your life? Who are you spending your time with? Where are you working? With whom? Are you employed? Are you in your own business? What are you spending your free time doing? What hobbies? Are you relaxed, excited, elated? What to do for fun? Are you full of vitality? How's your body? How's your weight? What are you wearing? What does it look like? What food are you eating? How much energy? Are you learning new things? Are you growing? Are you doing spiritual retreats? Are you traveling? Are you making music? Are you helping others? Are you building friendships? Are you reclusive? What's the depth of connection in your life? You don't need to know the answers right now, but I want you to ask that future version of yourself to give you one emotion that you feel as the fully expanded version of yourself. If you don't have it, don't worry. Ask again. What's the emotion I'm going to feel? You're really preparing the way. Ask her or him, can I have a symbol? It could be an animal. It could be a thing. It could be a place. Can I have a symbol? Show me a symbol. You'll know what that symbol means. Your mind thinks in pictures. Now I want you to thank that future version of yourself that you see on that screen, that celestial screen. And as that version of yourself is absorbed into the light, I want you to say thank you, thank you, thank you. You have your emotion, you have your symbol. Place them in your heart. And you're going to descend from the platform now, down the golden staircase. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, through the doorway into your heart, integrating the relation, all the information you've received, feeling yourself come into your body again. Feeling your feet firmly on the floor. Feeling yourself grounded again. Maybe even feeling an inner pulse, feeling your breath. And when you are ready, I want you to open your eyes and just firstly write down your quantum symbol and your quantum emotion. And I'll explain what quantum means in a minute. But what I want you to do is just take a few minutes to write down anything that came to you. Now, I don't want you to censor this, and I don't want you to do any interpreting. Just write. And I'm going to give you some homework after this. So bringing you back, why do we do this? Why do we visit that version of ourselves? It's because that version of you already exists. And I've talked about this on a few of my previous talks. And it can change, you know, it can be vastly expanded, and it will expand over time as you do this work. But really, that version of you, we have a perception that time is linear, but actually that version of you already exists. So what you are doing is building a bridge from where you are now to that person you want to become. And if you know what that quantum emotion is, then you can embody that. You can feel into that emotion as you go about your day. So for example, if your quantum emotion is confidence, when you're out and about in your day, can you bring that feeling of confidence into your body again? So for me, I remember it was weird because I was totally not expecting. Mine was graciousness. But it made me feel really good to think of that. How can I be gracious to other people? So whatever it is, it's right for you, and we don't really need to overcook it. As far as the symbol is concerned, I mean, what does that mean to you? You know, is it an animal? Is it that you need to become, or you want to become more like the lioness? Is it for me, one of my quantum symbols is, you know, I have a picture in one of my vision videos of a woman with a crown on her head looking very regal. To me, that's the sort of sovereign queen energy of, again, gracious, confident. So what is your symbol? And as I say, the more you can feel into that energy. So you don't, even though we discussed all those different areas of what you want to change, that's just really to stimulate all the sort of stuff that, all the limitless possibilities. And you really need to, you do need to start drilling down to this. So normally what I would say to you is spend 10 minutes to write this out, write your vision in the present tense, super important. Let your imagination go wild. And I hope that you'll do that after this call. If there was nothing stopping you, what would you go for? And then when you read it back, amplify it, read it back. How does it feel? I would be willing to bet that most people play it small when they're looking at their vision, because we all settle for good enough. And here's the other thing about these symbols. Often I hear people talking about, I want to earn 5K per month. I want to earn 10K per month. I want to earn 20K per month. For me, if I say to you, I want to earn 50K a month, it's not because I care about material things. It's because that's just become a symbol. For me, that's all it is. It's a symbol of how many people I've served. Another thing that came up for me when I was doing this, and I'm just sharing this with you to give you some ideas, was standing on a stage talking to 20,000 people. What was I wearing? What did my hair look like? How did it feel? How did I present myself? So it'll be different for you. It's different for everyone. It might be that you just want to have a cozy little house in the country and, sit by a warm fire, which is great. So, for me, I already live in a nice house in a nice part of London. I don't need any more. I can pay my bills. I can, I have a roof over my head. I have enough food on the table. This isn't about being greedy. This is about ease and flow. How does it feel? Can I easily, as I say, pay for everyone's meal, throw a big party for my friends, pay a gardener the top money, show my appreciation, show my appreciation, show my appreciation. Regarding relationships, I'm pretty happy on my own. I have lots of friends, but I'd love to have someone to share it with, someone to cuddle up with, someone who's there in the background cheering me on while I cheer him on. Health, I'm healthy for a 64-year-old, but my health could be better. But then we kind of relapse into this can't be bothered thing. And this is nonsense, because when you get to the end of your life and you realize the potential you squandered, you will regret it. So don't play small is, I guess, what I'm saying. What you're aiming for doesn't have to have anything to do with material achievement, but you will still need to find a way to expand your capacity. It's about mastering your inner limitations. So, is that job you're doing, which you hate, the only one you can get? Is that house you're living in the location of your dreams? Is that toxic relationship the best you can do? And most importantly, pay attention here. Are you being the best version of yourself? Are you playing full out? Are you sharing your amazing gifts with the world? That's really the purpose of establishing your vision for your future. Because if you're not, it's a shame. We're not all going to be millionaires, but how would it feel to be a millionaire of the heart, knowing you gave it your all? And that's why we need to revisit our vision again and again, because when we expand our lives, we enable everyone else to do the same thing. We have a massive impact on our environment. As as it's said in Think and Grow Rich, whatever the mind can conceive and believe, it can achieve. So I'm going to ask you one final question before we can go into some sharing of thoughts or any questions you have. What is your epitaph going to be? What do you want to be written about you on your tombstone? And I just discovered this because I had written some of this presentation a few years ago. This is what I wrote. She was a total badass who helped millions. Even as I say it, I'm like, wow. So how about you? Something to think about, isn't it? So some of you already know, some of you have already done the Elite Mentorship Forum. You know how fabulous it is. Some of you have newly joined my group, my cohort of the Elite Mentorship Forum. I would love to have individual conversations with you if you're interested in it. It's a program by a guy called Peter Sage. He's an incredible mentor. It's a modular program over 6 months with a peer group of like-minded people who are all thinking and vision casting and feeling and giving in this particular way of wanting to grow their lives. It's really incredible. And when you're in that energy, you begin to experience what's possible. Not just think about it, but experience it. So I'm really excited to be leading that. Time's running out if you want to do it, because we're starting on the 14th of June. So I'd love to see you there. And that's it from me, but I'd love to hear from you. And whether I'm curious to know about what they got in terms of their quantum symbol or their quantum emotion, or whether that made sense. Anyone, and I'm going to unrecord.